I want to live a life that I would be willing to relive. So this is what I've decided to do. So, for the second episode of this series, I completely randomly picked a slip of paper that would make me live a completely random day. Basically, the slip of paper said to go on a chance train ride through Switzerland by taking some dice that I'd have to roll with the number to determine which train I would take. So, I headed off to the nearest train station one lovely Saturday morning. The bus was even empty, as it was just 7:30 in the morning. When I got to the train station, I met my first friend, because we all know that friends make everything so much better.
Und dann, also es gibt zwei Züge nach Zürich. Also mit einer 50% Chance gehen wir nach Zürich. Mit einer 25%
gehen wir
nach Luzern und 25% nach Aargau.
Ja, also wir sind einfach da jetzt.
Ja, genau.
We then rolled the dice to determine which train we would take first. With the 20-sided dice, we rolled a 6, which meant our first train would be to Lucerne. When we got to Lucerne, we decided to roll immediately again. We rolled a 4. Our 4 meant that we'd take the train headed to Stans. We were even able to appreciate some nice scenery along the way.
We have made it to Stans. Hey Leute, stand auf, es ist illegal. Es ist illegal. Aufstehen, bitte.
When we got there, we first took some funny photos and then were really pleasantly surprised by how much this little city had to offer.
Ja, voll. XXL.
And even though the market might have been the biggest one we've ever seen, it was still really beautiful, especially since we wouldn't have expected it. Almost like chance just led us to this little jewel. And then the church bells started ringing and we saw hundreds of people walking by. It was just such a fun and beautiful atmosphere to be in.
Well, we are walking up a hill because we saw a nice bench. Up there. Hey, es hat Kühe!
We randomly started walking up this hill and that just made us even more amazed by how beautiful this tiny little corner of Switzerland is. We found our bench and had fun trying random things just as teenage girls do best. Back in town, we found this absolutely lovely cat. And you know, going to this random city that I had never really thought of before and still finding all of these little unexpected but lovely surprises taught me that these little things are everywhere to be found if you're just willing to go out and find them. So at some point we noticed that Stans was pretty much of a dead end, and so we took the train back to Lucerne, where we rolled the dice again.
We are going to Bern. Wir gehen jetzt auf den Zug. Ui, ui.
The train to Bern was about an hour, and it made me think because many people had really wondered why we would do something like this, why we wouldn't just use our tickets to go somewhere we actually wanted to go. But that's exactly not what we were trying to do. For once, we didn't want to know what would be at our destination, because if we already have these fixed expectations, then we're not really seeing anything completely new. We're not going to experience as many lovely surprises.
Weiß irgendjemand, wo die Altstadt ist?
Kein Plan.
Was? Wir fahren einfach randomly in irgendeinen random Tram.
Ja, von einem random Ort.
Genau.
By completely letting chance dictate where you go right then and right there, it's kind of hard to have expectations. I mean, I know Bern and I've been there once or twice to go to an embassy, but I really didn't know what it was like. And I didn't really think of it much until we randomly got off a tram and landed in front of the beautiful Bern Minster. I know you're not supposed to film inside, but it was such a lovely place with beautiful music, and there were at least 20 other people using their cameras. When we got back outside, we just started walking along one of the roads through the old town, which was quite a lot of fun.
Hey, look, du kannst ein Minischwein.
And at some point we made it to the river and we were absolutely amazed by the color of the water. The water looked so inviting, so we decided to go down. We got to the bottom, and then for me this was probably the most memorable surprise of this amazing day. There was literally a bear right there. And I would never have guessed that you could just come whenever and see them for free. Like, what? That just blew my mind and also put a huge smile on my face. We really wanted to see what that beautiful turquoise colored water felt like. It was honestly one of the most amazing refreshments you could imagine, even if we just put our feet in.
Weißt du, und im Hintergrund ist einfach so Bären. So echte.
And then sadly, soon enough, it would already be time for us to go home, but we promised each other that we would come back to Bern to float across the river sometime this summer. A promise that would never have been made if it weren't for that slip of paper and us rolling those numbers. On the last train home, there was a man sitting across from us who was breathing extremely loudly, and for some reason we found that way too amusing, and I decided to put it in here because it was just another one of those memorable moments when we just really couldn't stop laughing. I might have put the slip of paper in my box, but I then decided I'd have to make another one that said the same thing, just because this was an adventure that I definitely want to do again. I hope you enjoyed this little vlog style video. If you did, be sure to check out episode 1 of this series and subscribe, because there are many, many more episodes coming.